Uh-huh.
Who I worked with, I worked with him at the beginning, the very end.
You worked with Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah, like the night before he died, he was with me.
Oh my God.
In London. So this guy, he's backstage and all these guys, like all these famous guys, Mike Love from the Beach Boys, Eric Burden, James Brothers, they all say, no, if you want to speak about Hendrix, you got to see Peter Terry. He started with him in '66 and he was with him in '71 when he died. And so this guy coming up, he says, you got a card number, do you mind talking? I said, no, not at all. I said, the only thing I can tell you is the truth. I says, I won't make nothing up.
What is the truth?
And I won't agree with a lot of the things that you might believe are true that happened, Because a lot of what I've written in the books is bullshit. And he says, well, that's what I want. He says, this has taken 7.5 years now. He says, and I want the real truth. He says, I'll tell you a lot of that, It might not be that important or it's not significant, I said, but at least it'll be the truth. So he came over Monday for 2 o'clock and he was here at 5 o'clock. I never didn't know what was going on. There was electric cables and lights and cameras. I mean, it's a full-scale mobile TV setup, It's great. So, I mean, it's not no money, anything like that, but
so will this interview
set the record straight about Hendrix and all, like how he really started and what his death was really all about.
What was his death really all about?
The way I saw it was we were playing in a week, and he showed up on Tuesday, with Eric Burden and War, in a little jazz club in London after finish a huge concert tour. Eric says, it's a gift. I'm going to accept this gig in a little jazz club. And it means we can just hang in England for a week. We don't have to travel. And I'll make sure we get the same salaries for you guys. We'll have all the time off during the day. And it's like just reminded the guys in the band saying, yeah, that's great. Let's do it, So anyway, we started Tuesday and Jimmy showed up to play, and he was, what a mess. He was his hair was all over the place. He looked like he had been washed for a while. And I says, whoa, man. And fortunately, I was at the door when he showed, door of the club, on the street. And he says, yes, come on, man. Let me get one of Howard's guitar. I want to play with the guys, I said, not tonight, not tonight. I said, you ain't coming anywhere. I said, I don't want anybody seeing you. And I'm not talking about the band or Eric. I said, I'm also talking about the public. I don't want people. He says, man, what are you doing here? Sad things. Just, it was a long day. Go on, let's go play music. So he didn't. I wouldn't let him in the club, but I just told the bouncer, I said, look, I've got to go inside and get the show ready. This man is not coming in the club tonight. Dog, what he says, who he comes back, with, influential people. I don't want him in. So later I checked with the bouncer, I said, what happened? He said, he just got in a taxi and left. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm at the door. The taxi pulls up, this guy gets up, nice Burberry, guitar case in his hand, wearing a tie. Jimi Hendrix wearing a tie. And he walked up, he says, I even remember to look inside and I've got a strap and a cable. Because he was notorious for leaving things in his guitar case, leaving them in a tub. But he was looking great. So, boom, straight in, rock with the guys, figured out what he's going to come on stage. A little tiny amplifier. But as big as that little speaker there. With him and Howard Scott both going on the same amp. That was it, they played wonderful. And that was Wednesday. And Thursday night he was supposed to come over, he didn't show. And I got a call at my hotel from Eric Barrett, his roadie. He said he's dead. Just like that.
Oh man.
And that was, barbiturates and a little alcohol. And he didn't used to drink a lot, 6 ounces of wine and that's about it.
Is that all it took?
It's psychedelics. And here he's barbiturates, I got a feeling that he was probably so excited from having a good day the night before. Sly Stone was coming in the background up Thursday. I got a feeling he went up party to try to keep the good high feeling celebration at a level, and he just overstepped his own boundaries, you know, with the alcohol and the obituaries. And he died of asphyxiation, he vomited, and he was lying on his back, and Monique didn't have the sense to tell him and push him over out of bed. That's all it took. Push him over, roll him out of bed, you know. She did. Instead she called Eric, but what am I doing? He's joking. Eric said, we'll call the paramedics. Nobody just couldn't wait. She's lying on his back. Didn't think. And he died, that was it.
Stones started, Eric Burdon and the Animals started and all that. They were in London. The Stones started, Eric Burdon and the Animals started and all that. They were in London.
And Terry was the original.
He was the original road manager with Eric Burdon and the
Oh, the
Animals.
road manager.
And his association with Hendrix came from Eric Burdon becoming friends with Hendrix.
Oh, I see.
And Eric's second wife, I think it was first or second wife, actually became Jimi Hendrix' girlfriend. All this other stuff, but they knew him quite well.
Oh,
Quite
yeah.
well. In fact, he came up and saw Eric at this club called Ronnie Scott's in London the night that Hendrix died.
So what is it that a road manager is actually responsible for?
Everything.
For setting up the dates, you mean?
No, that's the booking agent. The road
Oh.
manager is the one that takes the band on the road and babysits.
Oh, I see.
And
Make
collects
sure
the
that
money
they're
and
sober.
gets everybody. No, you don't make sure anybody's sober.
Try and make sure they make their plane.
Sober enough, and get them on the plane and get them on the stage and get them to bed and get it through and get the production right and take care of the money. And you're just chief cook and bottle washer and financial accountant and road accountant.
So you were the assistant road manager, right? Or tour?
Well, Eric wasn't working with War anymore. He was still working with the management company far out when I
Yeah.
worked with War. There was
Yeah.
another guy, a little English guy named Steve Bronstein, was the road manager. He traveled with the group. I was the production manager.
Oh, you were.
And I took care of the crew and all the stage production.
Oh, I see.
And then Terry at that point was in the management company, and he just would come along as an advisor. He didn't have to do the hard stuff anymore. That's enough.
Is that how you met him?
We met him when we had Sugarloaf. Chocolate Hair was becoming Sugarloaf.
Yeah.
And Joel he was managing us, and he'd always still had produced dates, brought bands in and booked dates.
Yeah.
And he brought in Eric Burdon and the Animals.
Yeah.
And put Sugarloaf on the dates too.
And Terry was already
And Terry
with
was
them.
their road manager then, with
I
Eric
see.
Burdon and War.
And
When
so that
Eric
was like
with
30 years ago that you met
That was
him.
30 years, it was 1971. It was
Wow.
exactly 30 years ago.
Wow. And
2
before.
years before the wedding girl was born.
Yeah.
That's how long we've known Terry.
Wow.
Longer than we've known our daughter.